What's up, my boomers? It's me, Melanie Mac, here on my new channel, Melanie Mac Go Boom. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me today. And on this very special Friday, I'm going to do what we enjoy doing these days, and that is roasting on Rings of Power at any chance we can get. Yes! As I've kind of just to piggyback off my last video. So my last video I was talking about how Anita Sarkeesian effectively walked into gaming and kind of hijacked it with her own politics or whatever, like all that. Because, I mean, she's self-proclaimed not a gamer. So when you can see the impact that certain people can have, how they can just walk into a hobby or something that you really like and completely transform it, because let's face it, I mean, the gaming industry and games, especially in the West, have really drastically changed how they portray women now. And I go into more detail on that video. Like, obviously, I have some issues with it. But yeah, just to know how easy it is for people to walk in and do stuff like that, it makes it so much more important to where it's like, hey, if you like something, gatekeep it. And I never thought I would say that because, at some point I'm like, yeah, we should be welcoming to new ideas, new things, new people who want to get into our hobbies and stuff. And on the surface, that sounds great. But the problem is when they walk in and they hijack everything and they change it, now all of a sudden we, who have been supporting these things for so long, are now the outsiders. And this is how I feel with the Lord of the Rings and stuff like that. I mean, there's a lot of us who are big fans, whether it be from the Lord of the Rings movies or the books or both. But either way, Rings of Power seems to destroy everything that we love about Middle Earth, essentially. Like, just kill the spirit of it, And so, naturally, a lot of us have been making videos on this subject. A lot of us have been roasting Rings of Power. Some people are very salty about it. They're like, you haven't even given it a chance. You haven't watched it. And we just don't like what we've seen so far because, I mean, it's not accurate at all to Tolkien's work. And some people act like we're just being haters and we're just mean and that this is not a nice thing to do. But we've learned our lesson. We've learned that if you just sit back and all kumbaya about this kind of stuff, people will hijack our favorite things and ruin them. And if we just keep letting it go, before you know it, it's completely unrecognizable and we're the outsiders to our favorite things. Like I've seen this with Tomb Raider, all this kind of stuff. So, yeah, it looks like the OneRing.net, they are a Lord of the Rings fan site. They seem to have issues with this kind of stuff. It's kind of spreading this toxic positivity message to where you're not allowed to criticize things you don't like. And that's one thing I don't like about social media. Now, I consider myself an extremely optimistic person for the most part. I just love being positive and happy and goofy, and I don't like to let things bring me down. So I am like 90% of the time or more very bubbly and optimistic. But I've seen this wave of toxic positivity go around on social media to where if you don't like something and you vocalize it or you criticize something, for me and Tomb Raider and how that's changed, then we're demonized for it. And so we're forced to have this, we're forced to just like, oh, we have to only say nice things. We're not allowed to have any criticisms. And at that point, it's like, okay, hold up. I don't like this. I think people should be able to be authentic and genuine, share what they like and what they don't like. And if somebody doesn't like something that we like, that shouldn't keep us from liking it. That shouldn't bring us down. You know what I mean? And vice versa. So let's just let people like or dislike things to however they want. Now, they made this tweet, which they deleted since, which I will show you why, because they got ratioed. They said, we've challenged these content creators to demonetize their Lord of the Rings content to show their love comes from a place of true passion, that hate has no place in fandom. Apparently just criticizing stuff or caring about your favorite fandoms and stuff, that's hate now, to not want to see it hijacked and completely changed, apparently. Thus far, it's only monetized reactionary content, is what they said. Now, I can't see the complete full context of this since they've deleted this stuff, but I don't know if this is targeting people like who have been making videos on Rings of Power and roasting it. I've done a little bit. I don't know. I don't know if they don't like that, but anyway, it's funny because the Critical Drinker chimed in. He quote tweeted this tweet, but it's deleted now. He says, dude, you're done. You have 140,000 followers, but struggle to get 100 likes on anything you post. Nobody listens to you anymore because you sold your soul and self-respect to a giant corporation who also doesn't care about you. Hope it was worth it. Oh my gosh. But I mean, when you really unpack the whole situation, here's a fan site. And whenever people are big fans of something and they follow fan sites, they expect the fan sites to kind of be in their corner. Now, obviously, not every fan site is going to have the same opinions and stuff. But when we see just how much Rings of Power has changed and made Middle Earth completely unrecognizable and kind of are shoehorning their own things. And it's like, wow, to see, it does feel like the fan sites kind of sell out whenever because, they were brought on board. Amazon wanted to work with this fan site to do stuff. And I will say, it is so difficult. It is very difficult when these big corporations want to work with fans and influencers and fan sites and all that stuff when they're so nice to you and they just you want to be supportive whenever they reach out and do stuff like that. It's so tough. I will say I've been there, man. I've freaking been there. And I feel like, with Tomb Raider and stuff like that. Granted, I will say whenever the rebooted Tomb Raider stuff was out, I actually thought it was really refreshing at the time. And I did like something different at the time. Now I'm at the point to where I'm like, I'm over it. But I do think it was a combination of things. I think at the time when it was first going on, hey, this is something fresh and different. And the games were fun and good games. That they were not Tomb Raider, in my opinion. And so I wasn't as vocal as I wanted to be on my critiques and stuff because I felt bad. Because I was like, man, I feel bad because I'm friends with a lot of people who work on the games and stuff. And I'm like, dang it, I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings and all that. So I can get it. I can get it to some degree with the OneRing.net here. I can get it especially if they have friends who are working on any of the projects in any capacity, like community management, whatever it may be. Or if they just the people trying to work with them are just super nice. It's so hard to be like, oh, okay, here you go. They're being super nice and giving you these sneak previews and stuff. And then for you to turn around and be like, this looks like trash. It's hard to do. So I get it. But at the same time, it is at a point to where at the end of the day, you kind of have to disconnect that. And you have to say, while these people are nice, this is a big corporation, doesn't give a crap. They're using you. They do this to influencers. They use us. Okay? They use us to sell games. Do they actually care? No. And do the people who work with us and all that kind of stuff, are they good people? Do they care? Yeah, probably. But when you really unpack the whole thing, everything behind it, the big corporations and stuff, they don't care. They just want us to sell their games. That's it. Or in this case, Amazon Prime or whatever. So they can watch Prime Video. So there's just this illusion that they care, but they don't. It makes it very difficult and conflicting, especially when it's people who just are running fan sites and you're just, you're not being run by a big organization and you are just trying to run something all yourself because of your passion and your care. So it's tough. It's tough, man. But at the same time, I think it's just authenticity is so much more important. And this is something that even with my own content where I'm at now, where I'm like, you know what? It's hard. It's hard to be outspoken and critical about stuff that you don't like. And for the first over a decade of me making content online, I just wanted to be nice. I thought, hey, I remember I made a video on it specifically. I was like, if there's a game I don't like, I like to keep the negativity to myself and only talk about the things I like. And that was kind of my motto for a bit because I just didn't want to hurt people's feelings. But now I've reached the point to where social media has done such a they're like such a mob mentality now, and they're so that they cry bully so much to the point to where it's like, if you have any sort of criticisms and you're being called mean, you're being cry bullied, you're being hated on because you have some sort of criticisms, then they're bullying you into a forced positive mindset about something that you may not find positive. And I think that's what it took for me, is realizing that, hey, this isn't about people just getting their feelings hurt. This is about them bullying me and everybody else into a singular way of thinking. And at that point, it's like I've been able to really come out of my shell more and be a lot more open and honest with my opinions. And I just think now, if people get their feelings hurt because I don't like something that they like, well, then they need to work on that. Just like if somebody doesn't like something I like, I can't get butthurt about that. You know what I mean? And I can't expect people not to be able to be honest and to share their honest opinions. You know, we aren't in a kumbaya world. There will be tons of things that we don't like. That's reality. So let's just squash this toxic positivity regarding anything, and especially regarding these big mega corporations who are just milking us for money. You don't have to be toxically positive and force people into being positive. Now, if they genuinely like what Rings of Power looks like, good for them. Great. Love it. Love that for you. I don't think it looks great, but hey. But the point is don't force people into a narrative that they don't align with. Okay? All right, so Kingdom Heart Gamer, let's go and read some comments from recent videos. Says, good video, Melody. People call me Melody all the time. I don't know why. But I mean, it's similar to my name. They either call me Melody or they'll call me Melanie spell it with an A, or spell it weird. This is always a thing, but it's funny. My name is actually, because my name is spelled the way it is, because my dad wanted to name me Melody and my mom wanted to name me Melanie, and so they just spelled it with an O. So anyway, good video, Melody. I just watched Moon Knight. I love how it went so good with the whole split personality. I thought it was cool how they did that. I think English isn't their first language too, so that's probably why. So no offense. Yeah, I don't mean any offense by you call me Melody. It's okay. It doesn't offend me. I haven't watched it yet, but I do think it's cool to see one of my followers who does like it, because I do feel like a lot of people who are kind of like in my circle and stuff, they've been really wanting to trash on Moon Knight, and I feel like I've been just saying I've been looking forward to it. I haven't seen the first episode yet, but I am going to be doing that, and I think it looks pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. We'll see though. Pixels and Creatures says, I collect Godzilla stuff, and the 1962 King Kong versus Godzilla's design of Godzilla is my fave. I like the face and thighs. Love to see a thick Godzilla appreciator. Thick Godzilla is great. You want to feel like if he steps on you, you are deader than dead, man. Squash. All right. Jonathan says, oh, this is about the Anita Sarkeesian video. She's definitely one in her head. Effectively created a branch of the gaming industry and fandom where people are constantly harping about perceived injustice, and demonized the large portion of peeps who just wanted to have fun playing their games. That's what people like Anita always do to every piece of media, hobby, or fandom they touch. They rivet on the idea of seeing chaos and division, or as they say, subverting expectations, while getting profit out of it. It's a shame most people let that happen by not pushing back. Most gamers are good people, trash talking or not, and the community allowed these weirdos to move in out of goodwill. After all, why not share something you like with other people, right? The more the merrier, right? Well, hindsight is always 2020. Let that be a lesson for everyone else. Gatekeep your hobbies. Exactly. This comment is just so on point, and it's sad because, you know, gaming, gaming was always like this fun thing. It was always like an escape from reality. We were our own little niche thing, okay? We got made fun of for being gamers like back in the day and stuff. And now it's at a point to where more people wanted in on it. It's like, oh yeah, come join us. This is great. And then they completely hijack it. Want to tell us that the things that we liked about the games that we like Lara Croft, for example, is wrong. And I'm supposed to feel morally wrong because I like classic Lara Croft because of her curvy build. And it's just sad. It's sad to see how much it has been hijacked and transformed, and gaming doesn't hold the same fun element that it used to. It takes itself way too serious now, and there's always some sort of political agenda or something behind it, whereas used to it was just a fun escape. And I miss that. And now I'm at the point where it's like, yes, gatekeep your hobbies. Let's protect anime. We must protect anime because they're trying. Handheld Storm says, more human. It seems they're all the same type of woman. And yeah, that's the thing is they've gotten to the point to where, like I said in that video, where guy characters are allowed to be, unrealistic and fun and not held to a standard of being practical. And the women aren't. But even though they're more human, quote, they are exactly like said here, the same type of woman, because we're only seeing, for the most part, this like cookie cutter version of a very, they want to make female characters practical. They don't want to make them extraordinary. They just got to be kind of, average. But then beyond that, they also want to make them all good. It's to the point to where they're scared to make female characters be bad. And I don't like that either. Ferris Deus says, as an indie developer, she can try to come for us. I'll make what I want. You do that. Yes. The Alpha John says, yeah, she won. She claimed to be progress, but we're going backwards. Instead of looking at females by how they look, we should see them for what they stand for. Also nice seeing someone not hiding the Christian faith. Thank you so much. JP says, bring back female villains who aren't just misunderstood. I miss evil women. That's how I feel. It's just like I feel like a lot of female characters in general, villain or otherwise, they want to make them just this lawful good now. And they're too scared to make female characters like they used to. When you look at Lara Croft and stuff, she was so selfishly driven. She was not a morally good character at all. At all. Classic Lara was not. She wasn't someone you looked at and was like, hey, dudes weren't looking at her and wanting to bring her home to mom. Like, she was not a morally good person. She just wasn't. She was fueled by pure selfish ambition. And that's that. Now, sometimes she would do good things if it happened to align with her interests. But just likewise, she would also do bad things sometimes if it aligned with her interests. So I miss that. It's fun. It ain't real. It's a game. Let us play as characters like that sometimes. It's a good time. All right, so let me go ahead and go into the verse of the day today, which I picked 1 Peter 3:10 through 12. It says, for whoever desires to love life and see good days, let him keep his tongue from evil and his lips from speaking deceit. Let him turn away from evil and do good. Let him seek peace and pursue it. For the eyes of the Lord are on the righteous, and his ears are open to their prayer. But the face of the Lord is against those who do evil. Now, I've said time and time again, all the time, like, we're human, we're trash, so we always mess up all the time. It's always going to be a thing. But, just trying, put in the effort. And that's the thing is, like, the closer that we get to God and the closer, the more we strengthen our faith and the more it makes us want to be good. And while we'll never be righteous by our own doing, that's why Jesus died on the cross. It goes a long way, man. It goes a long way to try, like, hey, just look at some situations. Some situations, is it easy just to lie? If you really think about it, be like, okay, if I were to lie in this situation, it would benefit me. But when you have a conscience, or like whenever you actually, care, it's like, oh, you can't bring yourself to lie even if it benefits you, because it's like, that's not right. I can't do it. I can't freaking do it. Seeking peace, pursuing peace, not causing division among people, and not trying to pit people against each other, even in situations that it might benefit you, things like that. Those who do evil. And I think that a lot of evil is rooted in selfish benefit. It's funny because I just say this right after I talk about Lara Croft being ruled by selfish ambition. But for her, it's great. She ain't real. But for us in real life, you know, I think the root of a lot of evil is selfish ambition and just trying to, because that's the thing, is people who don't really have morals, much of a moral barometer or whatever, they kind of live in life on easy mode because they can just do what they want. If they're going to lie themselves out of something, they can steal to benefit themselves, or they'll have no qualms about stealing, lying, throwing someone under the bus to make themselves look good, etc., etc. And so, yeah, on the surface, it does seem like they're kind of living life on easy mode because they just, all you got to do is think about yourself. But, I don't believe people who live like that are truly happy. And I think that it's just such a superficial way of feeling like you're actually benefiting yourself, but it's not. At the end of the day, it's not. And so when you don't have a heart for and you don't have like integrity, then it's hard to really live a fulfilling life, I would imagine. So anyway, that's it for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I'll see you all tomorrow. And in the meantime, go boom.